Hi! Welcome to the very first episode, the very first content at least, on the Sporting Plug YouTube channel. You might recognize me as the host of that appalling dereliction that we call Wrestle Plug over on the other channel. I am Aaron Nix, but I'm not just big on wrestling, I'm very, very, very big on sports. I love my sports. I love American football. I love football. I love soccer, as you Americans love to call it. And it's not soccer, it's football. Grow up. But I also love, like I say, American football, basketball, watch a lot of sports, love ice hockey as well. Cricket, not so much, but I love talking about sports. And luckily for me, someone else who I know from the wrestling world loves talking about sports and also happens to be a huge fan of a certain team, as you can tell from what he's wearing. He's got the glorious yellow away. Yes, indeed. Arsenal's biggest fan that's never actually been to a game. It's Roger Sears. The main event of wrestling is now the history maker as he's on the first episode of Sporting.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hello, sir. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, mate. So, as you can tell from the title, we're going to predict this weekend's Premier League results, and then me and Roger are going to look over them next week. We'll also, hopefully, well, I will at least, and hopefully Roger might be able to join me. We might have different guests, obviously. We're going to look to basically predict a lot of the sports and talk about them, particularly Champions League as well, as that starts next week. Very excited to start watching the Champions League. So we're going to start with the Premier League and we'll keep it nice and easy. So nothing going on Friday. However, it is the FA Cup qualifying round. Here we are. As a quick wild card, do you dare give me a prediction for Ascot United versus Lewis?
Oh, dear God, I have no idea.
Yeah, so you're not a proper football fan, are you? So that's what
No, clearly I'm not. Clearly.
I'm a huge fan, by the way. So I love grassroots football, obviously, because we've been shit for the most part. Right, we start with the Premier League, and we start with a 12:30 kickoff this Saturday, because as far as I can tell, there are no Friday evening games, unless you want to watch the Championship. Have fun, Southampton. Wolves take on Liverpool in the early kickoff on Saturday. Roger says, who you got, and dare you predict a score?
I think this is probably going to be closer than people think. But I'm going Liverpool to win it, but I think they're only just going to edge it, to be fair. I'm going 2-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, I think Liverpool have way too much quality. Wolves, they're either dog shit or they're amazing. There's no in between. But they were like the draw specialist. So boring last season. To be honest, I think they were very smart selling him, and he's just like he's done fuck all, hasn't he? What is it, 27, 28 games now without a goal? Fulham. It's a shame. I like Fulham, obviously being Fulham's the family team. They're not my team, but they're the family team, and I want them to do well for the fam. But yeah, no, I think Liverpool win 3-1. I don't think Wolves have enough quality. I think them being at home makes it a little bit more difficult than maybe if it was at Anfield. But I still expect Liverpool to come out top, so I'm going to say Liverpool will win 3-1. On to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. Talk about a pick'em. Roger says Aston Villa or Crystal Palace?
I think Villa should have too much quality for them. They should. Oh yeah, no, I'm going 2-0 Villa. Yeah, I don't think Palace score enough goals, so 2-0 Villa.
Palace are a weird one. Like, I rate Roy Hodgson overall in his career. I think he's been a wonderful and a breath of fresh air. And I'll never get over him saying, I think you're taking a piss. Well, you are. I just thought it was quite funny. And also I just like how angry he is. He's such an old man. He's like, get off my grass, you reprobates. Yeah, like I'm surprised. He just strikes me as a Brexit manager. He must be absolutely shell shocked with the amount of like foreign footballers in front of him. He's like, back in my day, we had people with the second name Smith only. But yeah, I just don't think Crystal Palace have enough quality away from home. Villa under Emery are excellent. Villa have an absolute swathe of injuries right now. 6 or 7 high-profile players, all injured. But that being said, they still have more quality than Crystal Palace do. So I'm going to say Villa to win 1-0, because Crystal Palace will make it difficult. That's one thing they do very well, is they keep games nice and tight. Yes, like a tiger. Speaking of Jimenez and Fulham from earlier, Fulham are at home to Luton in probably what must be the biggest must-win game of their season. They've got to beat teams like Luton to stand a chance of staying up, haven't they?
Yeah, they have got to. Luton might give them a bit of a game. I'd say Fulham
Think
were
Luton get off the mark?
probably. Sorry?
Think Luton get off the mark here? They're yet to get a win. They're yet to get a point, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure I can see it. I think Fulham have made some smart moves in the transfer window. I actually think them signing Iwobi was a really good bit of business on their behalf. I thought he played really well for Everton last year. I'm a
Big
bit
fan of
shocked
Alex
to let
Iwobi,
him
are you?
go.
Former Arsenal player as well.
Well, yeah,
I remember that
I'm
little
just
prick coming to Central Bank and giving it large when they beat us 4-2 in the Carabao. And he was like, I was like, mate, you're giving out to what was right then a League One side that were barely in that league. Like,
yeah,
come on.
yeah,
Seriously.
true. Um,
Mouse Club, Everton.
I think Fulham win it. Yeah, I'm actually going to go with 3-0. I think they're going to win it quite comfortably, if I'm
Darcy
honest.
Jimenez score his first goal.
No, I can't see that happening.
Let's not get ridiculous, boys. All right, we've got Fulham now. Jimenez scoring is rarer than a fucking solar eclipse. I'm trying to. I love that. Do you think Jimenez scored? Let's just calm down. Let's just relax. Yeah, no, I hope Fulham win. I'll be supporting Fulham. Sorry, Luton. So I obviously I want Luton to do well. Underdogs. What's really crazy about Luton is the fact that as a Lincoln fan, we watched them pass us by and go into the conference. You know, we had a hand in essentially relegating them in that season when they had that horrible points that is bullshit. They were fucking absolutely hung out to dry. So it's awesome they're back in the Premier League. It's awesome that they're at the pinnacle of football, but I think they go right back down again, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
And I think they look a little bit like Derby when they came up. Remember when Derby
yeah,
came? Fuck all, and I think they got like 7. But same with Sunderland as
yeah,
well at the time, and
yeah,
they had about 14 points. You're bad teams with a lot of spirit. You want them to do well. Hopefully they'll snag a result here and there. But yeah, I fancy Fulham to win, but I think Fulham are going to win 1-0. It's going to be tight. It's going to be very, very tight. Man United are at home to Brighton with all kinds of problems at the moment, it should seem, after being spanked by the arse at the Emirates. Up the arse, right up Ten Hag. I'll tell you, by the way, Ten Hag go, well, yeah, we were clearly robbed. We should have won. All right, mate. Sure. You are now the new Arsene Wenger. Congratulations. You apparently don't see the game. Yeah, Man United, loads of problems. Sancho, of course, having a little fucking paddy. Ten Hag upsetting players, which, you know what? It can work two ways, that, can't it? Because ultimately, Alex Ferguson was the same as that. He was one of those guys, work for me or fuck off. But he had the trophies and the success.
Yeah.
That's the difference between him and Ten Hag. Brighton are an extremely dangerous football team, particularly when it comes to the attacking side of things. Are we in for an upset, according to Roger Sears?
I think it's going to be a draw, actually. I'm going 2-2. I think there's going to be goals in it, but Man United at home, I can just see them. They're getting something from this game. And Brighton, we've seen, they can be absolutely amazing or they can be utter shite. But no, I think this one's got draw written all over it for me. So I'm going 2-2.
I reckon Brighton to win 2-1.
Oh.
I think they've got enough in them. They've got that, like, even the game where they lost to Newcastle, sorry, the game where they lost to West Ham. I think they lost 3-1 at home to West Ham. Even in that game, they had more than enough chances to win it and should have in so many people's eyes. So I think attacking wise, they're very ruthless. They just go for the throat. And Man United are super, super shaky. Man United, I've noticed, if they do not score within the first 20, 25 minutes, have a really hard time breaking teams down. They went 2-0 down after 5 minutes to Nottingham Forest. Who admittedly I think are better than they were last year, actually. But for me, they're still one of the weaker sides in the league. And the fact that, Brighton could legit, Wolves went there, got a draw. Nottingham Forest went there and frankly were their own architects of downfall when they lost that game. And obviously the Arsenal game, Arsenal thoroughly outplayed United for the most part of that game, in my opinion. There were definitely periods where they were trying to be very Arsenal about things and bin it off, as they always do. But overall, they were a better quality football team with better players. Man United, for me, by the way, Mason Mount, still for me, one of the worst bits of business in the summer. I do not understand how you can spend that much money on a player of that quality. And by the way, he's massively, massively overrated, in my opinion. Upsets a lot of people because he's English, right? If he was French, we'd all be saying, oh, what a load of shit that geezer is. But because he's English, got to be nice to him. Brighton to win 2-1. Tottenham, your favourite football team, are at home to Sheffield United.
Oh,
Good
this
job,
one pains
hey!
me. This one pains me, but yeah, I think Spurs will win this. 2-0 Spurs.
Mate, Lincoln City beat Sheffield United.
Yeah.
No, Tottenham are better beat Sheffield United. Hot games. Third round up. We'll be seeing you wankers soon. In fact, I'm going to talk about them wankers next. Tottenham should have more than enough to beat Sheffield United. More than enough. I think Sheffield United are going to be in trouble. They absolutely fucking threw it. Well, to be fair, they should have beaten Everton, but they couldn't. This is what worries me. If you can't put Everton away, I mean, Pickford did have the game of his life, which is surprising for a championship level goalkeeper. There, I said it. But it's that thing of, he is. I'm sorry. By the way, we're going to have a separate fucking rant about this on this channel. The fact that Ramsdale doesn't get to start for England is a fucking joke, mate. Yeah. Especially after watching Nick Pope flap around like a fucking Christmas turkey in his last game and all. Newcastle have been in it off all over the place, by the way. You know, fucking Everton are literally the drizzling shits. And Ramsdale sitting there going, yeah, I'm just part of one of the most successful team in Europe. You know, I'm just their goalkeeper, but apparently I can't get to play for England, which is probably why he plays so well for Arsenal, because he's not weighed down by the bullshit expectation of the British media. So it might be a good thing for Arsenal fans that he's not England's number one. Tottenham to win this game 4-0. They are on fire. By the way, Son scoring a hat-trick at Burnley right before the international break. If he's firing on all cylinders, with everyone doing as well as they are, they're going to be lethal. They're going to be a dangerous outfit. Could be breathing up your nostrils pretty soon. Fancy your chances against the Spuds there?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do, actually. Yeah.
I like it. Loving this confidence. Loving it. Right. The team that is about to be humbled severely in the Carabao Cup, West Ham, are at home to Manchester City. I sense there might be a bit of a bumming here, although West Ham, to their credit, look excellent this season, coming off the back of the Europa Conference. By the way, I don't know how do we feel about West Ham fans chanting champions of Europe? Are you?
Yeah, come on. Nah.
I get it, and you absolutely should celebrate it. A trophy is a trophy, and you celebrate. But to say champions of Europe when there are 2 European trophies above that in the order, it's like, I don't know. It's like being the champion shopper at Aldi. Like, you know, like, okay, so you have won something, but it's not in the big boys' house. That being said, they did beat an extremely they beat Fiorentina, didn't they, in the finals? You know, good fucking outfit. So they are a great football team. And don't get me wrong, I actually like West Ham a lot, and I hate Man City. I just do. I hate Man City. I think their brand of football's boring. It upsets people. I think it's so boring. And people say you're bored because they win all the games. That does factor into it. Remember when Michael Schumacher was just winning all the time in Formula One? I was like, oh, fucking hell. A bit dull now. But then Man City should win every game because their team is worth more than it, apart from Chelsea, obviously. Oh, lol. You know, but it's that thing of, come on, like, you've spent £1 billion and you've got literally the Terminator up front. You better fucking win most of your games. I think they'll beat West Ham as well. But I think West Ham will make their life difficult. And also, Mikel Antonio, probably the most underrated forward in all of football, in my opinion. Absolutely amazing. A proper old school English number 9. He's a big beast, isn't he? The Mark Henry of West Ham. Beautiful. Who you got?
Well, obviously Man City. 4-1, I think. I think they're going to brush them aside quite easily.
Yeah, I think Mikel Antonio will try and make it. I worry because they play him on his own up front. He's going to get swarmed against Man City. He'll make it as difficult as possible for him. He'll rough him up. In many ways, Mikel Antonio is kind of like, you know, I don't know, Poundland's answer to Erling Haaland, but because I really like him. But he's obviously, Haaland is on an island by himself, you know. So yeah, Man City to win extremely comfortably, I think, if I'm being honest. And I think everyone's got Man City, but West Ham do have the capability to cause an upset. And ultimately, if this division is going to be remotely competitive, we need someone like a West Ham to pick up points here. The afternoon kickoff on Saturday is a very interesting one. Newcastle, who are very, very shaky after losing 3 on the trot, by the way. They lost to Brighton, they lost to Liverpool, they lost to Man City, and the Liverpool and Brighton games especially, they were absolutely ridiculed, and rightfully so, for missing a hatful of chances and being very wasteful with their brand of football. They're at home to Brentford, who are an extremely capable and compact side.
I actually feel there might be a bit more misery in this for Newcastle, you know.
Really?
I actually think Brentford might do them over. I think we could be looking at 1-0 Brentford.
Oh, I'll tell you what, if Brentford do them over, I will be extremely horny because I love Brentford. Yeah, I like Brentford. I like their style. My apologies, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delaying a bit. The signal's not fantastic. I live in the countryside, joy. Yeah, I think Newcastle win this game. I do. I think they right the ships like they have to as well. Otherwise, pressure's on. You know, you can kind of excuse losing to bigger sides a little. Like Man City, okay, they only lost 1-0. They restricted Man City, but they never really created any chances of their own. The Liverpool game is shocking. Like, you cannot afford to go, 1-0 up. Liverpool have their best defender and arguably their best player, Virgil van Dijk, sent off, and you still lose with 2 late goals. That's not a good look. And then the Brighton game, they had a lot of good chances early on, but Brighton was so clinical, and Ferguson decided to play the game of his life, bless him. He's 18 years old, could end up being an extremely exciting talent as well. Interesting to see how Ferguson plays against United, by the way. But yeah, I think Newcastle... I don't know why. I just can't see them losing 4 in a row. Brentford aren't particularly strong away from home. They're more of a home side. So I'm going to say Newcastle win 2-1. Yeah, it's a tough pick. It's a tough pick, but it is. Now then, on to Sunday, where things get... This is absolutely one of these weekends where you think, oh, well, it's obvious which 2 teams are going to win this. And then you look at the 2 teams that should be winning, and you think, here we go, dickheads. Yeah. Dickheads. The 2 o'clock kickoff. Bournemouth are at home to Chelsea. £1.5 billion almost spent by Chelsea, and to show for it, a mid-table performance.
Yeah. Well, as I'm from Bournemouth, I have a bit of a soft spot for them. And look at their recent history. Yeah, you look at their recent history against Chelsea, and they've got actually a really good record. I think Chelsea might be starting to come into their own a little bit now.
Yeah.
I think Pochettino might be starting to get a bit more out of them.
I think so, because they lost to Forest last time out.
They did.
They are so they're the most wasteful team in the league.
They are. I mean,
can't score goals.
They look reasonably good against Luton, but then it is Luton, right? So
yeah, I mean, we could probably look good against Luton if we were organised, mate.
You know what? I'm really torn on this one. Part of me thinks Chelsea are going to break their jinx against Bournemouth, but like you've said, they're not in the greatest of form. 1-1. I'm going for a draw. 1-1.
1-1 draw. Oh man, Chelsea to win 2-1.
Okay.
I think they'll have just enough. Every time I watch Bournemouth play, which admittedly isn't all the time, but every time I watch them play, Solanke scores. It's like a curse. He has to score. So put your money on Chelsea to win, but Solanke to score. Finally, rounding off this Sunday is Everton versus Arsenal. So, Roger says, the expert analysis of the biggest Arsenal fan here. Do Arsenal slip up away to Everton once again, just like they did last season?
And the season before. I mean, they haven't won there for 6 years. That's really
outrageous.
They seem to be our bogey side away from home, yet we batter them at home all the time. I think we break it this time, but I think we're going to make it difficult for ourselves. So I'm going 2-1 Arsenal.
It's either going to be 6-0 Arsenal or 1-1, I reckon. It's so stupid. I don't trust you lot at all. We've beaten Man United. We're in the form of our lives. We're ready to go. And then they'll get like fucking Saliba will get sent off after 3 minutes, and then it'll just be downhill from there. I'm going to bravely say Arsenal win this game 6-0.
Oh wow, okay.
I think Arsenal are going to fucking batter them. I think Everton are a pile of shit. They deserve to be near the bottom of the league. Do you know what? I feel sorry for their fans. Their fans are amazing. Their fans
Yeah.
deserve so much more. They're so raucous, so vocal. It's not a slight on you guys, but that club is a fucking shambles. Absolute shambles. And rounding off the Premier League this weekend, if anything says we're going to be last on match of the day, it's certainly this one. Nottingham Forest are at home to Burnley. Yeah, baby. Monday night football is popping off. Just fucking.
Oh my
God,
God, yeah.
please, for the love of God, help us out here.
Oh, please, just at least let there be goals in it, for God's sake.
I know you said that it's going to be 0-0.
Yeah, it's no, that's what I'm thinking. Is I'm expecting it to be fucking goalless in an
No
absolute
Brennan Johnson at
ball.
Nottingham Forest anymore. Obviously went to
Yeah.
Spurs. Heartbreaking for me. Also, well, I'm happy for the boy because Brennan Johnson spent a season on loan at Lincoln, and in that season we got to the League One playoff final, and he was easily our best player. So, yeah, got a lot of love for Brennan. Whatever he does, I'm extremely happy for him. But no, Brennan, I will not be buying a Spurs shirt with your name on the back.
Good.
Nottingham Forest or Burnley.
I actually think it's
Don't act
probably
like
going
you're not
to
going
end.
to watch it, Rog.
It's going to end up being goalless. I'm going 0-0.
You're going 0-0.
I think it's just got that written all over it.
It's going to be a 4-4 classic, mate. No.
I hope so. I hope so.
We do. To be honest, if you're feeling frisky, Granada and Girona are on the other channel. Also, Crusaders are playing Cliftonville in the Irish Premier League. Salernitana are facing Torino. Hellas Verona are playing Bologna. These are all better games, I'd hazard to guess. The game that really stands out to me is in the Swedish Allsvenskan, where the IFK Norrköping are facing Mjällby AIF.
Wow.
I know. Also, very, very early that morning, basically Sunday night, Monday morning, Austin FC versus Portland Timbers. Nottingham Forest to win 2-0. I think Burnley are shy. That being said, every game that they've played against the bigger teams, they have been in it until late. They've worked really hard.
Yeah.
They've worked hard against Man City. They've got to start clicking. You worried if they lose too many games, they might get rid of Vincent Kompany, which is going to fuck them right up because he's good for them. He is. He's just good for them. So have a bit of patience, Burnley. But Forest at home, raucous atmosphere. That's one thing you can be guaranteed. So I'm going to say Nottingham Forest to win 2-0. And I do believe that wraps up the Premier League predictions for week 5 of the Premier League. Thank God there is no longer an international break. Did you enjoy the international break, by the way? Did you watch Scotland versus England? What a raucous game that was.
I didn't watch any of it.
I love how the British media, right? The English media are like, oh, what an accomplished performance against Scotland. Yeah, Scotland, bruv. Scotland, man. Like, fucking hell, our standards have dropped again, haven't they, since that Euro final? Not the Forest to win. So, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, I want to see your predictions in the comments below. Let us know. And what we'll start doing is if we get to a certain amount, I'll tell you what, once we get to 100 subscribers, we'll give away a free Sporting Plug t-shirt podcast. So there you go. That's your goal for us. Help us get to 100 subscribers, and then we will pick one lucky subscriber to win a free Sporting Plug t-shirt wherever you may be in the world. From myself, Roger, and Roger Sears, thank you very much for watching the Premier League predictions. Tatty boys up the arse. Don't fuck it up now, will you? I can smell it from here. Oh, yeah. Also, up the fucking imps. Come on.